Okay, welcome to my presentation. And for this presentation, my topic that I chose is adolescent disparities in regard to minority education. So let's get right into it. So, first things first, why this topic interests me. This topic interests me because I've always felt like it's vital that all children and or adolescents, regardless of their race or ethnicity, receive equal educational opportunities by any means necessary. Education is a human right that should be extended to any and everyone who wishes to receive it. Education is a tool that can be utilized to enhance the lives of many and allows people to walk into certain spaces. Education opens doors for various opportunities that you may not have gained access to if you weren't fortunate enough to receive it or if you chose not to pursue an education. Education shouldn't ever discriminate against race, ethnicity, or color. But unfortunately, there has been some visible discrimination in relation to African American adolescents' educational opportunities. So, in this project, I will be focusing on this particular challenge and researching how one can adequately address these disparities to better maintain equity and equality. Okay, target population and possible implements of change. My target population for this project is adolescents. And to start off, we can combat these educational inequalities by incorporating race equity and inclusion every step of the way. The denotation of equity is the state, quality, or ideal of being just, impartial, and fair. In order to properly implement equity, it should be considered as a structural and systemic structure. Equity involves a more personal approach to understanding what people may need to enjoy full and healthy lives, whereas equality is a general approach. It's the notion that everyone is equal. Moving into systemic change barriers and addressing educational inequalities among African American adolescents. So, the U.S. education landscape has long been a source of unequal treatment, access, and outcomes based on a student's race or ethnicity. African American students are twice as likely to be placed inside of inadequately funded school districts and 3.5 times more likely to be in chronically underfunded school districts, according to a 2024 report released by the Albert Shanker Institute. African American students fall behind on their reading and math proficiency levels at much greater rates than their counterparts do. Even though 70 years have passed since the U.S. Supreme Court prohibited segregation, many of America's public schools are still racially and ethnically isolated and oppressed. For instance, among public schools nationwide, 60% of Hispanic students, 59% of Black students, and 54% of Pacific Islander students attended schools where over 75% of their classmates shared their race or ethnicity. Moving on to strategies to encourage African American resilience over educational inequalities. So, to overcome racial barriers in regards to African American education, we can create more spaces and opportunities to hear from Black students. We can begin to build school family partnerships, and we can support Black teachers to improve diversity. As a matter of fact, research has shown that Black students who are taught by Black teachers are more likely to graduate from high school and to enroll in college compared to their peers who are taught by non Black teachers. We can also equip leaders and school staff to create a space that promotes racial justice. Moving on to Nagusa Saba, the seven principles of Nagusa Saba are Umoja, which is unity, Kuja Chagulia, which is self determination, Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility, Ujama, which is cooperative economics, Nia, which is purpose, Kumba, which means creativity, and Imani, which stands for faith. These principles are important because they represent each of the 7 days of Kwanzaa. Like most festivals, Kwanzaa incorporates music as an essential element of its celebration. The purpose of Kwanzaa is to celebrate African American heritage, family, and community. They share a common language, listen to African drumming, partake in dance, and they share meals of African diaspora inspired foods. Moving on to Sankofa. For those of you who don't know, Sankofa is an African word from the Akan tribe in Ghana. The literal translation of the word and the symbol means it is not taboo to fetch what is at risk of being left behind. The Sankofa symbolizes the Akan people's quest for knowledge among the Akan, with the implication that the quest is based on critical examination and intelligent and patient investigation. Spiritually, Sankofa means, again, to go back and fetch it if you have forgotten. This is important because it encourages learning from the past to be better equipped for the future, reaching back in order to move forward and lifting as we climb. Moving into the overall message, which is African American resilience. Resilience is commonly referred to as the ability to recover quickly from difficulties and setbacks. It is also defined as the positive adaptation of an individual despite the presence of significant challenges. African people demonstrate inner resilience. This refers to their knowledge, skills, and innovative capacity. When facing challenges, these traits can help improve their overall happiness. Black resilience denotes the collective ability of Black people throughout the diaspora to thrive despite encounters with discrimination, poverty, and other risk factors. Thriving is defined as the ability to encounter adversity or stress and grow from the encounter. Growth depends on initiating, coping, and accessing resources that promote healthy functioning and well being. Community resilience is very important as well. This insinuates that family, community, and culture are at the heart of many African societies. In conclusion, for African societies, resilience is synonymous with how happy they are as individuals and as collectives. Now we will discuss ethnic identity and pride. Race and ethnicity play a very large role in our society and automatically shapes who we are and how we're perceived and treated by others. So, having a sense of belonging is very important. Having a sense of belonging to a particular ethnic group can certainly affect the way a person sees themselves in the world. Having an appreciation or understanding of your own culture, ethnicity, etc., can help to eliminate some of those negative feelings that may be associated with the lack of positive treatment from others. If a person has a great sense of pride or understanding for something that they personally identify with, it will be much easier to counteract or have a positive mindset, regardless of how others respond to it. This could also lead to more sustainable and fulfilling relationships overall. Now, for the conclusion. So, to kind of wrap everything up, as we've learned throughout my presentation, it's abundantly clear that there are educational disparities in regards to African American adolescents. However, it doesn't have to remain this way, and that's the most important part. With hard work, dedication, unity, and a few of the strategies that I mentioned in prior slides, we can all work towards a brighter future for our children and the next generations. Educational opportunities should always be fair and in close proximity to anyone and everyone who wishes to receive it, regardless of race, color, or ethnicity, because it's more than just an option. It's a human right. This topic is relevant to the ongoing resilience and thriving of African American people because it serves as a constant reminder every day that we should make our voices heard in an effort to maintain equity and inclusion even beyond educational settings. As people and as a community, we should lift one another up and encourage each other to push limits and break through barriers, even when it may feel uncomfortable to do so. Always remember that discomfort is essential for growth to take place. And here I have my references. I have about 8 references in total. And thank you for coming to my presentation. Happy holidays.